maybe I'm wrong. Lucky I'm sane after all I've been through. Everybody say it's cool. I can't complain, but sometimes I still do. Life is good to me so far. Kindness in the morning.
Well, I was talking to Mike Oster yesterday at they're stupid to be have to even reply
Maybe
to that.
they contributed to his creative flow. You know, Hunter Thompson, you know, a lot of guys, you know, they count on it. They depend on it.
True enough. Wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas while he was on acid the whole time.
I mean, it's just, you know, you just throw it out.
That's jive because I took too much acid. You don't write anything on acid. Don't tell me about that. I mean, that's
Not acid.
Remember
not
the
acid.
experience, or, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but going all the way back to old Jack Kerouac, on the road.
But if I had
all-
to guess, I would say no. George Carlin is genuinely, you know.
First of all, he wasn't taking enough to. Well, all he was taking if he's taking 4 or 5 Vicodin a day, which is actually fewer than are prescribed.
Yeah.
And drinking a little wine. I mean, that's not going to do much other than just get you through the day.
You are underestimating the impact of that combination.
Well, I've never tried that.
I mean, he instead of peaking and, you know, halfway ODing and lying in a pool of his own urine, as some people have in the past, he was kind of, you know, maximizing, getting the most out of these things. He wasn't, you know, chugging down a half a tube of these things.
I know when I took
half a mile.
Vicodin, when I was taking Vicodin, I could barely talk.
Because you take 15 at a time. you parcel it out. I mean, come on. And you get through the day, and it's a nice thing.
Sure enough, thought I was drinking again. You know, I spent one whole summer when I first got hurt at the ranch on Dilaudid.
Yeah.
And, man, I would never want to hear those tapes. I mean, it was just, well, I was in a lot of pain. Dilaudid is, of course, 100 times stronger than Vicodins.
Really?
But I only took 600 of them. That's what they gave me. That's what I took.
Well, those were the tapes that were on Best of this last week.
Yeah.
Was that tape?
So anyway, well, George is going to be, when's he going to be at the Beacon Theater?
November 4th and 5th. Tickets go on sale tomorrow
Oh,
at
they
11
do?
o'clock. And
Oh, that thing just sold out so quick you can't get tickets.
it's an HBO special. The
Yeah.
4th will be sort of an audition show, whatever.
Yeah, but they tape
is the actual taping.
No, they tape both of them.
Okay.
So if you're at either show, you might wind up.
Can't never tell.
Oh, those shows are great.
Oh.
Those shows are
Brilliant.
Well, we'll see whether it's.
Well, yeah, we'll make a judgment.
He sent Bernard an email yesterday
Right.
that was then forwarded to me, in which George felt it necessary to defend himself.
And his creative genius.
At these absurd allegations by a bald-headed skunk, Bernard.
Now, wait a second. George is a friend of mine.
Yes,
A good friend.
right.
And I was merely speculating just to pique people's interest. If I had to guess, George is probably even more brilliant now.
Right.
But there's no question that the drugs and the alcohol, you know, they were present, and he was brilliant for the last 20 years. Therefore, you ask the question. Come on.
Which way has he gone now?
Yeah.
I see.
Has he gotten even better?
Exactly. Which is now that he's lucid completely.
Or,
Sure.
conversely,
Right.
is he now Jay Leno?
Oh, that's hurtful.
Oh.
10 minutes after the hour, time for the news, and here with that is Chuck McCord. Well, George is coming up in about an hour or so. Before that, Senator Joseph Lieberman. See what his story is.
All right.
Our old friend Joe Lieberman. Good morning, Chuck.
Another day of insurgent violence in Baghdad that we described. The death toll now at least 31 people, 8 of the dead civilians. The rest are police officers as this latest wave of bombing goes on. Hurricane Ophelia already has dropped more than a foot of rain on some areas as it hangs off the North Carolina coast very slowly, about 6 miles an hour, making its way toward the northeast and just sliding up the coast. And along the Gulf Coast, the death toll from Hurricane Katrina now exceeds 700. Searchers are still going house to house throughout the region looking for survivors and still recovering bodies. Louisiana Governor Kathleen Blanco admits that her state's reaction to Katrina left something to be desired. In remarks before the state legislature yesterday, Blanco echoed President Bush, his comments that it is time to step up and admit failures.
At the state level, we must take a careful look at what went wrong and make sure it never happens again. The buck stops here. And as your governor, I take full responsibility.
You're supposed to.
You're in charge.
Good job, you know.
Yep.
And you dropped the ball, a disgraceful performance on her part and that dopey mayor of New Orleans.
She vowed that her state will be rebuilt, though, including the city of New Orleans, and she's asking for federal funds in order to get that job done.
She's a moron.
Legislators are calling on the president to establish a type of Marshall Plan for the Hurricane Katrina recovery effort. The Marshall Plan was an aid plan used to help Europe rebuild after the Second World War. Lawmakers from both parties proposing various ideas to oversee the building effort. President Bush expected to unveil new initiatives for rebuilding when he addresses the nation 9 o'clock Eastern Time tonight. Yes.
Look at old John Bolton sitting there in the audience at the UN. Yeah, and he's sitting next to Condoleezza Rice, who took time out from shopping to show up for this thing. And he just looks goofy, doesn't he?
Get her done.
He looks stupid. Looks like Captain Kangaroo without the hat.
I mean, it was.
You can't take him seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is difficult.
And they had to sneak him in there to begin with, so.
Yeah.
He looks like Mr. McFeely from the Mr. Rogers.
Not happening. 13 after the hour. What else?
Republicans are confident Chief Justice nominee John Roberts will win committee approval. After interrogating Roberts the last couple of days, Democrats on the Judiciary Committee are getting about an hour this morning for one last crack at eliciting opinions on critical issues. Roberts perturbed some senators yesterday by remaining evasive on specifics.
I will confront those issues in light of the court's precedents with an open mind. I will not take to the court whatever personal views I have on the issues, and I appreciate the sensitivity involved. They won't be based on my personal views. They'll be based on my understanding of the law.
Senator Biden expressing frustration again with Roberts' non-committal responses to specific questions about contentious issues.
Without any knowledge of your understanding of the law, because you will not share it with us.
Right.
We are rolling the dice with you, Judge. It's kind of interesting, this kabuki dance we have in these hearings here. As if the public doesn't have a right to know what you think about fundamental issues facing them. Kabuki dance.
Kabuki. I mean, I love Joe Biden, but come on, Joe.
This kabuki dance.
The Mr. Money Business Report, sponsored by the New York Stock Exchange. Today at the exchange,
Sorry, Senator.
President Yodonoho of Indonesia. This clown's the highest-ranking Indonesian official to have visited the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
Yodonoho, or Yoho No, or what the hell his name is.
You ought to know, or...
President Bobo is going to ring the opening bell.
I don't know.
Coming in from the bullpen, you don't know ho.
New York Stock Exchange CEO John Thain and Jakarta Stock Exchange President Director, I don't know what his name is, they're going to sign a memorandum of understanding.
Dude, how was the Vicodin today?
To enhance the cooperation between both exchanges. The closing bell will be rung by Bertie Ahern. He's the Prime Minister of Ireland. They're joined by the Irish ambassador to the U.S., Noel Fahey, American Ireland Fund Chair Loretta Brennan, Glucksman, and American Ireland Fund Kierman McLaughlin, I guess. Jesus, this is an announcer test point, isn't it?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Whatever happened to John Smith, Tom Jones?
I mean, come on here. Well, yesterday, Dow Jones Industrial Average down 53 points to close at 10,545 something. 10,545 is what it is. Shut up, you little jerk. The NASDAQ down 22 points. Began trading this morning at 2149. The New York Stock Exchange Composite was down a point to 75.77. Disney Studio reporting losses in the range of nearly $300 million for the fourth quarter. Their blame is being placed on product that sucks, essentially. And their DVD sales are off, and just no one cares. Apparently not buying their stupid mouse stuff. Well, 16 after the hour.
So this next piece of material, like most good ideas, is fairly simple. It's just a list of people who ought to be killed. Starting with these people who read self-help books. Why do so many people need help? life is not that complicated. And the part I really don't understand, if you're looking for self-help, why would you read a book written by somebody else? That's not self-help. That's help. There's no such thing as self-help. You did it yourself. You didn't need help. You did it yourself. Try to pay attention to the language we've all agreed on.
By the record machine. I knew he must have been about 17. He was strong, playing my favorite song. And I could tell it would be long that he was with me, yeah, me. And I could tell it wouldn't be long that he was with me, yeah, me. Singing.
Salesforce.com lets you manage all of your customers' information as easily as using a simple website without buying any software, hardware.
North and Wayland Modified Series qualifiers were washed away there at the New Hampshire International Speedway. The good news, Andy Santerre will have the pole today for the Sylvania 125. The three-time Busch North champion, Ted Christopher, is on the pole for the Wayland Modified Series Sylvania 100. Listen to me, my friends. Don't go anywhere. Call in sick if you have to today. Get your NASCAR weekend started right and keep it where it is.
How many times do you think someone has said Tracy has the pole?
Oh, come on, Michael. That's just disgusting. 16 after the hour now.
A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, go.
Now the girls all get prettier at closing time. Now they all begin to look like movie stars. Now the girls all get prettier at closing time. When the change stops taking place, it puts a glow on every face of the fallen angels of the backstreet boys. The fallen angels of those backstreet boys. In the morning.
This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. Give someone special to you the gift that will be remembered for years to come. Name a star after them.
41, in fishing gear, holding up a couple of fish superimposed over New Orleans with people in the waters.
And you found that amusing?
Well,
there you go.
No, I guess I did.
Magical what you could do with Photoshop.
That was amusing. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Sean.
And as I said, Louis Armstrong International Airport scheduled to reopen tomorrow, limited service. The main wastewater treatment facility has begun running today.
Oh, he's the boss.
Right.
You know what was good?
What happened to the boss? Did the boss get bumped off?
No. Jay Snyder sleeps with the fish now.
Okay.
He's a consultation. But the thing is, he's still a consultation. But it was good. Andrea spoke to me Saturday night, and I said to Andrea, I said, you know what? You're a winner. Everyone's going to be watching you and Federer. Federer looks like a stallion horse. The guy's about 6'2". The guy moves around the court. Nobody's going to beat him for another 10 years. The man is awesome. And I tell you, I was screaming.
Seemed like a nice kid.
Yeah, and I was screaming my heart out. You want to know something? It comes to a point where, he was winning. They won a set each. Then it went to the third set, and it was 4-2. And Andre was up 4-2, and then all of a sudden you saw the deflatation coming out. But this guy was all over the court.
Did you see Federer's girlfriend?
Yeah, she looked like a linebacker. She looked like Porky Pig. Well, she looked a little like
Porky Pig. The point of being
Pig.
Roger Federer,
I mean, Roger Federer he looks like he's a stunning. He looks a little Chinese.
He's got a huge snout on him.
No, but he looks a little Chinese. He's a little slantatacious in the eyes.
I'm in the morning.
When Claude Monet painted the French countryside, his genius with color and
Impact on the poor shows why the nation needs an effective national government and a new Chief Justice who supports it. The Massachusetts senator said Roberts is intelligent and serious, but added, that the Senate must determine whether he's committed to constitutional principles that would advance, as the senator put it, fairness, decency, and equal opportunity.
I'll lighten up on the judge.
The Roberts hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee is expected to last about 4 days, at least 4 days. He's been nominated by the president to succeed William Rehnquist, who died September 3rd. The Supreme Court begins its new term October 3rd.
The big skip dinner is tonight over at Christie's Auction House at Rockefeller Center. And it's a wonderful organization run by Margaret Miko, who... You ever met her, Bo?
No, she's the head of this skip organization.
Got a short in her wiring.
A what?
She has a short in her wiring.
You mean the elevator don't go all the way up to the top?
It does, but... The jerk's getting up there.
Top's 2 inches short of being dead level with the threshold.
But she's a saint.
Yeah.
And the things that they do for these thousands of these kids is remarkable. And I met her like I met everybody else who did, right? And they're honoring Caroline Kennedy and David and Alice Shuris tonight with their Ruby Slipper Awards. They're having a little cocktail hors d'oeuvre thing, and then Jonathan Alder's the master of ceremonies, and we're going to present these awards to Miss Kennedy and Mr. and Mrs. Jurist, and then Rob Bartlett will be there, currently on Broadway in Sweet Charity, and soon to be with Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick in The Odd Couple, which opens, do you know, Dr. Phil, when...
I don't know. You can't get a ticket, so who cares?
You can't get a ticket to The Odd Couple?
No, sold out through April.
Wow. Through April?
Wow. Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so Fat Boy's going to be doing the auction, huh?
Yes.
You know what the hardest part about being on Broadway is?
No.
Telling your parents you're gay. The hell is he thinking?
Well, I'm not sure.
And wear his tap shoes tonight, is he?
Doesn't he have like 3 or 4 kids or something?
Probably it, I guess.
No.
Is he a pitcher or a catcher?
Who?
Rob Bartlett. Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah?
I would assume shortstop.
But anyway, we'll all be there tonight. Charles was trying to do the news, and I interrupted him with this information, but it's important. It's
important information.
It's a wonderful organization, it really is. So, and they give you money to somebody that, boy, that's... In fact, Courtney went to work for him. You know, she's worked for us. And,
yeah. Oh, she went to work for Skip?
Yes. So, what else, John?
The president gets his third up-close look at the damage that Hurricane Katrina has done to the Gulf Coast today.
I'm glad we cleared up that fishing thing. God, I thought that was horrible.
That was
turns out it was a doctored photograph.
Right, phonied up.
No.
Mr. Bush will be touring New Orleans by amphibious vehicle, part of a military convoy, as well as by helicopter, and then he will also travel to Mississippi. Mr. Bush will be meeting with Coast Guard Vice Admiral Thad Allen, now heading up the federal relief effort. And Allen says, certainly, that the city still needs a lot of work.
The water is deteriorating, the environmental conditions. This is not a safe place to be until we get everybody out. The water has been completely drained, and we do environmental assessments here. Everybody needs to be out of New Orleans so we can move forward and repair the infrastructure.
Engineers are optimistic, though, that the city's principal wastewater treatment facility will be back in operation today. And there is some good news. The airport is preparing to reopen, at least on a limited basis. Hospitals are getting back in business. Sewage plants were restarting as the flooded city of New Orleans showed signs of recovery. In fact, they are saying that the area that is flooded is down now to about 50% of the city, down from 80% earlier. Electricity was restored to the central business district. And there is a suggestion now that from Army Lieutenant General Russell Honoré that the number of dead would be, in his words, a heck of a lot lower than an estimate of 10,000 dead made by Mayor Ray Nagin. Honoré said that that number, as he interpreted it, came out at a very emotional time with not a lot of facts. The official death toll, though, was still at more than 400 in Louisiana, Mississippi, and back in Florida. Meanwhile, the president headed to the region yesterday. Third visit is mentioned in 10 days, and we'll get another look at exactly what has been able to be accomplished so far in the recovery process. The mayor of Hurricane Katrina ravaged New Orleans, fighting off criticism, speaking of Ray Nagin, that he didn't do all he could to protect residents before the storm. The mayor told NBC's Meet the Press yesterday that his primary goal, though, was to get people to safety.
Get them out of their homes, which most people are under sea level, get them to a higher ground, and then depend upon our state and our federal officials to move them out of harm's way after the storm is hit.
This guy's a moron.
Yeah, he doesn't impress the tape.
He should have been driving one of those school buses.
Yeah, man.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Dope.
You know, we haven't mentioned one thing. Remember when Katrina hit on that Monday? All of a sudden, the gas stations in New York, they jacked their gas up to almost $4 a gallon. That was when the hurricane hit. These guys who were operating, these un-American guys who were operating these gas stations around the New York tri-state area, especially New York. Where's my man, Elliot Spitz? I made a call to him Friday. I said, I left a message. He was doing something. And I said, Elliot, you got to take charge of this thing because the
it's disgraceful.
The increase did not go to the gas stations in one day. So now what happens is the oil prices have gone down to like $64, $63. It went up to almost $70, but it hasn't reflected on the pumps. What they call this is pump jockeyitation. You know what I'm saying, Doctor?
Yeah.
Dr. Phil? And you know what happens? They say they're only making 10, 11 cents. This is baloney. This is price gouging. I'd like to have an investigation by a great attorney general, our man, our close friend, Ellie Spitzer. I guarantee you we'll be taking these un-Americans out with handcuffs from the pumps. The guy who's pumping the gas there and the other guy, let's collar them. Let's get a task force of guys.
The guy pumping the gas, what other guy?
The guy who owns the friggin' place that's making the proceeditations, and the guy who's pumping the gas is a conspiracy. Let's lock them all up for a grand larceny in the penalization code of New York State. And you know what I'm saying? If they're price gouging
I don't know
like
what
this,
you're saying. No, neither does anyone else.
what do you mean you don't know what I'm saying? I'm saying when you're paying $4 a gallon, everybody else went down to $3. They jacked it up, then they jacked it down. They have not come down with the prices. And people who have cars that drink a lot of gas, like your limousine and like a couple of my cars, you know, this is starting to
why do you have to bring me into this?
Well, it's starting to affect me a little bit here. When you go to the pump and it's $70 to fill the friggin' tank up, I mean, there's a
What are you doing driving around in a Bentley in the first place?
Why not? I work hard for my living. I work hard for my living. My V12s take a lot of gas, too. The V12 S600, and then I got the BMW, that thing CR.
You're the problem.
Why am I the problem?
People like you riding around these big gas-guzzling cars.
And what about the mother with 5 kids that got to get her SUV to get the kids to school, and she's got to pay $4 a gallon? That's wrong.
Those are the people I'm reaching out to.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm in lockstep with.
Sure,
Chuck.
I'm talking about the mothers that got to take their kids to the schools, and they got to fill their SUV up to fill the little kiddies there to go to school, and it's still $4 a gallon. I challenge.
Why can't the kids will ride a horse to school like I did?
Ride a horse to school?
Whatever.
You went to school in Los Angeles, didn't you? In California?
They used to take a covered wagon to school.
Covered wagon.
Arizona, well, yeah.
Yeah, well, you took a horse?
My parents drove me, but back in the gas was cheap then.
17 cents a gallon.
Yeah, 29 cents a gallon.
But I think we're hitting on something no one even spoke about. They jacked it right up to $4 from $3, and they never brought it down. And you know what it is? They're making like $1 a gallon, some of these gas stations, in their pocket.
Why don't you cause a scene at one of these stations?
Sure.
What do you mean, just like fill her up and then say, I'm not going to pay, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
That's called grand larcenitation.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Search yourself, sure.
It'd be fun. Why do you want Bo to get locked up? I don't think that'd be too much fun.
I just think it'd be fun.
Why don't we have Dr. Phil go there? We'll use him as the guinea pig, Doctor.
Bo, is English your second language?
14 after the hour. One of the great disc jockeys in the history of this country, Jimmy Rabbit. God, he was great. We used to call it Eagle-Ease on your Heartbeat Radio.
Somebody's gonna hurt.
Driver's warning. Includes 10,000 miles a year, 15 cents for each mile over. Leasing responsible for maintenance. Subject to credit approval. Must take delivery by 9/30/05.
Rubbernecker with the Mitsubishi Fan Highway Patrol, brought to you by St. Clair's Health System. More than knowing what to heal is how to heal. The physicians of St. Clair's committed to caring for you. Expect detours and closures in and around the United Nations today and tomorrow between East 46th and East 49th Street on 1st and 2nd. That's due to the arrival of world leaders and dignitaries for the UN General Assembly.
Bunch of bums.
Well, what are the closings again?
It's going to be at 1st and 2nd Avenue in between East 46th and East 49th. However, there will be frozen zones throughout various parts of the city as these folks move around. So
when does this start?
It actually starts today. Yes, there have been
world
some problems.
leaders, a bunch of friggin' guys with boxes on their heads and wearing their blankets from their beds around them, and all of a sudden they're world leaders. Yeah, they suck on some sand somewhere,
That'll
eat
be
some
fine,
rodents.
I'm Rita Rubbernecker with the Mitsubishi Fan Highway Patrol.
World leaders, yeah.
21 after the hour here in the Emerson one in
Go make a
Bergen.
porridge of rodent droppings and
we're
crush it together and suck on this.
We're talking with our traffic lady, Rita Rubbernecker, about the big gridlock that's anticipated on the east side of Manhattan.
Actually, it's going to be all over Manhattan, Mr. Hines.
Yes.
All over Manhattan.
Because everywhere they
which
go.
means, so if I'm trying to go to see that,
Oh, forget about it. Let me explain something to you here.
Take the subway.
Wherever they go, they want to go to lunch, they want to go eat some cook yak on the west side, they got a ton of cops there with motorcades. They shut the roads down, they go suck some yak there, and then they throw up, and then they go to another meeting, they fall asleep, they smoke some ganji, and they're stoned out of their mind. They don't even know what they're talking about, and they talk about world hunger, and they eat a yak somewhere, and this is world leaders. Royal family's going to be there. How royal is the royal family? They suck on a goat somewhere, a camel, they give oral sex to a camel, and they're royal family. They're born on some oil somewhere. Come on.
How did it get?
This world is really
Bo should have been UN ambassador.
And we got them here in New York too, and we're playing host to these animals. Animals is the only word that I got to put. You go look at the UN, what comes out of that UN. It looks like it's the Star Wars bar scene there. When they're playing the Star Wars bar scene.
Oh, the Italian ambassador's going to be there.
I don't care about that. I'm an American.
Take it
I don't
easy with it.
care.
They're all animals. They're not all animals.
Excuse me, you look at some of these countries, I can't even pronounce the name. They don't even know what continent the country's from.
We're a nation of immigrants, Bob.
Yeah.
This is very important. It's the United Nations 60th
Well, good. We
anniversary.
should keep them the hell out of this country. Let's keep America American, and we can keep some of these terrorists out of our country. Let's lock the borders up and protect ourselves against these terrorist inquisition.
Sure. Jesus, God, I mean, there isn't any way to even characterize what you just heard.
I think I can sum it up in one word: imagery.
23 after the hour. Time for sports now. You still bet on football games, Bo?
Yeah. I did. I broke about even. I couldn't believe these friggin' Jets, man. And then, I bet against the Giants like retardo. And I go to the tennis game, and the other guys, the Cardinals, and the announcers. I love these announcers. Well, they are a sleeper. The Cardinals. They're gonna be in the conference. And the next thing is I come out of the friggin' tennis game, and they lost 40-something to 17. Yeah. When I went in, they were winning 17-0, 17-7.
Yeah.
And then I went into the tennis thing, and then it was all regurgitation, reversed.
Yeah, more yak suckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like Bradshaw owes you about $50,000, Bo.
Yeah. No. I broke about even. I do like the Eagles tonight. I really believe the cream will come to the
How much
top.
money do you bet on a normal weekend?
Oh, a couple of buckaroos.
15 grand? 50 grand.
You're betting. I bet about this weekend with the college and all. I bet about 15 games.
5,000 a game?
Yeah, but it all washes in the wash because you get so if you even, then you pay a little vegetation. I get
$75,000
yeah, but I get
on football
I get a break on the vig. I only pay half of the vig.
Oh, that's good.
Instead of 10%, I pay 5%,
there you go.
which is very good.
Yeah.
And then you get a breakation on a vigorization.
What'd you have in the Texas-Ohio State game?
I happen to have Texas.
No.
And that was one of my winners. I got a little nervous there. Did you see that last touchdown?
Yeah, I did.
Did you stay up that late?
Yeah, I watched the game.
I couldn't believe the other one, that Notre Dame. This guy really is for real, man. They go into Michigan, the big house.
That was a good game,
and
too.
they kick some butt with Michigan, man. Because I like Michigan.
Well, that's when you lost.
Obviously. Obviously. But isn't college football great?
What if I told you this weekend you couldn't bet on any games?
I wouldn't bet. I don't really care. But to me is this.
Well, $75,000, that's a lot of money.
No,
to bet
but you
on a
got to
football
figure.
game.
You got to figure
games.
You got to figure if you're retarded like me, you can just pick the teams. You got a 50-50 shot. And you know what? You're just hoping you don't wipe out. Wipe out?
Yeah.
Like get them all wrong. And
Sure.
the odds of you getting them all wrong are very vicarious.
They probably are.
Can't argue.
Now, I've even forgot what vicarious means. But I've never heard it used that way.
Dr. Phil?
Chris, were you doing sports?
I'm sure. Why not?
Please continue.
Well, I'm in. Miami beat Denver yesterday 34-10. Dave Logan of KOA out in Denver, very excited for a Dolphins touchdown.
Here's the handoff, and the upback takes it. That's Sammy, and Sammy's going to be into the end zone touchdown. Sammy Morris with a 9-yard touchdown run. He went in standing up.
Dude, give me a little bit of something there on the call. Absolutely nothing. The Dolphins crushed them 34-10. Saints yesterday.
How about my Redskins?
Well, the Redskins won 9-7. Good job out of the Redskins. As a matter of fact, David Patton, Washington receiver, doesn't care that it was an ugly win.
Man, win and ugly, that's not even in my dictionary. I don't even know what that means. A win is a win is a win.
As I said earlier,
31 or 2.
the news out of that conversation was that he has a dictionary. So.
Who do you like tonight, Chris?
Bo, I'm with you. I like the Eagles tonight.
What about that quarterback there, Atlanta?
I think yeah, he can, but I think he's remarkably overrated, Michael Vick.
Yeah, but they got a key on him because he's like a running back, the guy.
He is.
How good is his brother, by the way?
Marcus Vick is good, but he's in jail all the time. Every time I turn around, he's getting arrested.
Well, things happen.
Well, he just got to be reinstated this year at Virginia Tech, and he's playing well so far. But seriously, he's been arrested like 4 or 5 times already.
For what?
Oh, all kinds of different things. I don't even know specifically. I couldn't keep track with him. It was so many.
What else going on? Come on.
The Saints yesterday go on the road. They beat Carolina 23-20. The Jets hammered by the Chiefs 27-7. Herm Edwards knows exactly what happened.
Hey, they took us behind the woodshed and whooped us. So now we got to learn from it.
Way to break it down, Coach. It wasn't very good all the way around. The Giants crushed Arizona 42-19. Cowboys 28-24 winners over the Chargers in San Diego. Over in baseball, the Red Sox lost 1-0 to the Yankees. They now lead the Yankees by 3 games. Yanks are a game and a half.
Yankees are over. That's over.
It's over?
Yeah.
Again?
Why are you turning on your team all
I'm not turning on them. I'm giving you some information. It's over.
Well, what happens if they pick up a game tomorrow night?
Well, then maybe it's not over.
Maybe not so much.
Yeah.
But look out, Cowboy, because they're headed to Tampa Bay, the world beaters, the Devil Rays.
Yeah. 28 after the hour. Well, here now with a wrap-up of the just concluded United States Open out at Tennis Deal out of Flushing Meadow is our guy from the Boston Globe and NBC, Bud Collins. Hi, Bud.
Well, good morning. The odds are vicarious, huh?
Yeah.
I thought gambling was illegal.
You thought what?
I thought gambling was illegal.
Yeah, well, come on. So,
well, it was a wonderful Open. I hope you saw some of it.
Let me tell you who I'm sick of.
Who are you sick of?
Mary Pierce. Enough.
Well,
I mean, first of all, she takes a 12-minute break.
She does.
In the match with
Dementieva.
Demented.
Yeah.
And then she plays an hour match against the other girl.
65 minutes.
And she has to take another bathroom break. I mean, can the girl pee before she plays tennis?
Well, she has a bad bladder, I guess.
She does?
No, that's that ought to be ruled out. You know, Vitas Carolitis, when he played a 5-hour match against Guillermo Vilas in Rome. There were no bathroom breaks, nothing. They just played tennis. And now Vitas, just before he died, said to me, I guess we didn't have bladders when I played. It's a strategic move. Go to the bathroom, try to throw your opponent off. And it ought to be, the rules need looking at. Because what Pierce did, taking 12 minutes, that was criminal. But it was within the rules.
Oh.
And you can't delay a match like that.
I was glad she lost the final.
Well, I know you are, but it was a terrific tournament anyway. Andre Agassi was just tremendous. But the other guy is a god. He's the best in a long, long time. And maybe the best ever. Federer.
Yeah, McEnroe said he thought he might be the best ever.
Well, he's still got to put in a little mileage, but the way he plays, the way he serves, he was down 4-2, 30-love in the third set, and suddenly he just rose above it all. He was like Atlas lifting his game, and he's a wonderful kid, too. Wonderful guy.
What makes him so good, Bud?
He just has balance. He has anticipation. He's strong. He has imagination. He can change his game. He was hitting there from the chipping with his backhand, and suddenly his serve came back to him. He had 19 aces. He doesn't serve big like Roddick or something like, but he hits lines. He hits corners. He's like laser with that serve. He can volley. He can do everything. And when he first came along, he beat Sampras at Wimbledon in 2001, which stopped Pete's 4-year streak at Wimbledon. And I remember writing a column after the Key Biscayne tournament saying, call your London bookmaker and get this guy. Because even though he lost to Agassi in that match, he was...
I thought you just said gambling was illegal.
Not in England.
Oh, I see.
Not in England.
Well, Vegas is legal too, Bud. So
Sure
don't throw
sure
any
it is,
interpretations upon me. I gamble through Vegas, Bud.
Okay,
You're throwing a
all right.
interpretation on me.
I apologize.
You see where my seat was last night, Bud?
And I apologize.
Bud, you see where my seat was on the right on the net there?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see how good that seat was next to the lady there? Who's that wife of? Who's that wife there?
Listen, you always have the best. I know that.
But please, you made like a veil of some consciousness against me with the gambling aspect.
I apologize.
It is legal in Las Vegas.
I
It's not legal the way you do it, though.
Excuse me, I call up Las Vegas.
Oh, you don't? You gamble
sure.
with these local guys?
No.
What vig you talking about?
No, but if you want to gamble on these tennis matches, I'll show you how to in Vegas.
Will you?
Where it's legal, okay, baby?
Yes, my friend,
Okay.
I will. I will.
Anyway, where to now, Bud?
Well, where to now? Back to Boston for a while and play tennis myself.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah.
Well, say hi to everybody and thank you. All right.
I will, man.
Please welcome now to the I'm Mr. Morning program the captain of the U.S. Davis Cup team, our old friend Patrick McEnroe. Good morning, Patrick.
Hi, Miss. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I've got a poem for you. I was really just enthralled earlier by some of those poems you guys were reading. So I thought I'd come up with one myself. You ready?
A family of poems from Caroline Kennedy, published by Hyperion, with gorgeous watercolor paintings by John Muth. So,
are you ready, I-Man?
Well, I would have no idea who that was if my wife hadn't called me and told me, but said, by the way, we have a number of books featuring this artist, honey. And I said, oh, yeah, I knew that.
Down, enough is enough. Are you ready?
I guess, yes, Patrick.
Jersey tomatoes are red. U.S. tennis court are blue. Bo Dietl can't shut up, even when Andre's through.
Is that all, Patrick? That's why you were sitting in the stands and not commentating yesterday, obviously.
Oh, geez, Bo.
Dietl
with the comeback.
No.
All right, Bo.
I don't think we need to hammer Patrick.
I don't think that's necessary,
our friend.
Patrick was sitting in the stands. I
Well,
thought he was a commentator. What the hell's he saying?
He was done for the day, right, Pat?
I had already done what I was there to do, Bo, which was set up the match.
You want to start throwing stones? You're over with it's over the U.S. Open, pal. You got to deal with me every day, brother love.
Yeah, you've got to figure out another way now to get the Davis Cup, American Davis Cup team to wind up losing to someplace like Guatemala.
We're heading off to Belgium at the end of this week, Don.
One of those matches?
That'll be a week from Friday, so the end of next weekend. So we leave on Saturday night, get there Sunday, got a good 5 days to prepare, get the boys ready.
Who's on the Davis Cup team?
Andy Roddick, the Bryant brothers, who just won the U.S. Open, James Blake, who took the U.S. Open by storm, will be there.
Right.
And we're going to go win our match with Belgium, and then we're going to come back next year, and we're going to win the Cup, Don.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, they'll probably be playing in wooden sneakers and kick your butt.
Oh, where's this hostility toward Patrick?
Belgium's near like Holland, like clickety clock.
A lot of dikes, perfect for
A lot
tennis.
of dikes over there for you, Patrick.
A lot of yak sucking too, isn't it, over there?
Yeah, yak suckers over there.
I'll tell you, Bo, you're just making a spectacle of yourself out there at the U.S. Open.
How was I cheering for Andre? Good?
Well, let me just say you were cheering for him, yeah, but I mean, good may not be the term I
Oh,
would
that's great, man, to listen to Bo while you're there. And I was there once when he did that.
When he won the U.S. Open, remember 1999, I was saying, chop them up, chop, 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 chop. And did you see what I said to Federer's crew up there, the people with the red shirts with the crosses on them? I said to Federer, I said, maybe you better send for the red cross. Did you get it?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's great.
Hey, Don, I heard you and Ron and Sana talk with the scheme to pump and dump Sirius radio stock.
Pardon me now?
You know, last week you and Ron and Sana were talking about your scheme to pump and dump the Sirius radio stock.
No, I gotta go now.
Nissan introduced.
That's the hour here on the I'm somewhere program. I'm coughing. Chuck has an update with the news. Chuck?
All right, man.
I caught you by surprise. I apologize.
That's perfectly all right. President getting a close-up look today at what Katrina's floodwaters did to New Orleans, taking a tour of parts of the city, actually on the ground in a military convoy, amphibious vehicles. He will also then go look at it by air. He'll get a helicopter tour of surrounding parishes before then flying on to hard-hit Gulfport, Mississippi, to see how things are going there.
Not down there fishing with his dad.
No, he's not. This is his third trip to the region since the hurricane struck 2 weeks ago.
We were able to clear that up.
The city keeps taking very small steps toward recovery. Principal wastewater treatment facility could be running later today. The latest aerial scans show that the city is about 50% flooded now, down from 80% at the height of the disaster. Recovery teams continue to locate bodies, but the final casualty count now is likely to be far lower than officials, principally Mayor Nagin, first was talking about. At least 197, though, are known dead in the city, but they say that it probably will be nowhere close to the 10,000 dead that Mayor Nagin was initially talking about. Grassroots America opening its heart and also its bank accounts for victims of the hurricane. For example, a couple of boys from Farmington, New Mexico have donated their savings, $32 in change, for the Katrina refugees. A lot of kids are doing that sort of thing, baking cookies, raising money at schools, and so on and so forth. And about $700 million, they're thinking of, perhaps has been sent that way through various charitable organizations so far.
You ever been to Farmington, New Mexico?
No.
I have.
Do you know the town?
No.
Don't know it.
My nice little place.
Republicans are warning Chief Justice nominee John Roberts against responding to what they call litmus test questions. Roberts' Senate confirmation hearings opening today. Iowa Republican Charles Grassley says questions such as how an abortion vote would be cast caves into liberal interest groups, and it says simply just don't take the bait and don't answer that kind of question.
Right.
Senator Edward Kennedy said Hurricane Katrina's impact on the poor shows why the nation needs an effective national government, and says the Senate has got to determine whether Judge Roberts is committed to constitutional principle that would advance, in the senator's words, fairness, decency, and equal opportunity. Iraqi television reports the country's prime minister has ignored a chemical weapons threat and toured a battle site near the Syrian border. No pictures of Ibrahim al-Jafari were broadcast. Iraqi television reports he congratulated troops for rousting militants from the stronghold of Tal Afar. And we're seeing that...
Probably close to the way that's pronounced, isn't it?
Tal Afar?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
What are you saying?
You know what I'm saying.
And the outer rain bands of Hurricane Ophelia are starting to make themselves felt along the North Carolina coast. Still is, don't know exactly when it is going to go ashore, but they're thinking that perhaps a little rough, but you're right. I know exactly what you mean, and it has not had an effect, particularly yet, on gasoline consumption in this country.
3 months ago, it was $30 or something, right?
Yeah. And remember that? $35 of a barrel oil. And O.T. Boone?
Quarter till the hour here on the I'm Sewing program. Chris Carlin in the studio, and of course, Chris been taking a look at sports all morning, and well, then he didn't get the Tassimo coffee machine, so.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, Dr. Phil got it, so.
Well, Dr. Phil deserves it.
Yeah. But the big game tonight will be the Philadelphia Eagle people taking on the Atlanta people, right?
Exactly right. The Atlanta Falcons and the Eagles down in Georgia for Monday Night Football should be very, very exciting.
Right.
Did you watch a minute of the NFL yesterday or not?
Well, I had it on, yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't really see anything.
Okay. So you weren't into it very much.
Well, no, because Wyatt and his mother and I got in a kayak and went out on the sound there in the kayak, did that. Then Wyatt and I practiced roping our steerhead. And
does the kayak have a little engine on it by any chance?
No.
Was the kayak otherwise known as a catamaran?
No, it's a two-seat kayak. And I get my little life jacket on, I get in it.
So you got him basically, pedaling you all over the place,
lesbian pictures.
No, his mother does that. His mother paddles a kayak, and
You sit in the back of the megaphone going stroke, stroke, and she keeps going, go have one, go have one.
No, Dr. Phil, that's not what she says.
I don't feel good.
Week one of the football season's in the books, and were there any big surprises? No. Jets fell apart, right?
Jets fell apart. Miami just absolutely hammering Denver was certainly a surprise at 34-10. There were a couple other games, but there was nothing that just really kind of blew you away. Like, Miami game probably, I think, would have to be considered one of the biggest upsets of the day, certainly.
Mike Francesa's sleeper team in the NFL. Well, happened to be in the car Sunday morning and heard a portion of his very fine NFL show. His sleeper team would be the Bears, who were asleep.
Well, they lost 9-7.
Well,
Kyle Orton is a rookie as their starting quarterback. That's going to be a difficult proposition.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens with them. One other game I should mention is that San Francisco actually beat the Rams yesterday, and the Niners were not expected to do anything. They were an awful team last year and don't look much better this year, but they are able to win yesterday over the Rams, and who the heck knows what's going on with them.
And here's a note that will interest Lou Ruffino. The world's most potent beer has been developed by a brewer in Germany, Lou.
We'll bring it up.
And it comes with an alcohol content of more than 25%. You drink it from a shot glass.
In a beer hat.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like next Sunday is made for me. Put a couple on each side of the top of my head, we'll be good to go.
So this may be something Lou will be into, surely.
Don't forget about the car race, too. Is that the chase is going on now. Tony Stewart leads the chase. Ryan Newman currently 10th in the Will You Stop Knocking on My Damn Door? This is not an auto salvage business.
Well, Tony Stewart, the car running good. It'll be hard to catch.
Gonna get her done.
Yeah, he's gonna get her done. So, I don't see anybody beating him this year. But then, I guess the big news, sort of, well, not if you followed it all year, but Jeff Gordon was sort of on the bump. Anything else, big guy?
That should about do it, Cowboy.
Okay, 2:10 till out now. Here on the island somewhere with Uncle Tupelo.
Take my picture off the wall. It don't matter to me at all that I stayed for a fall. You wanted me to fall. Get back my TV. Don't mean that much to me. While you're giving back my thing, give me back the keys to my heart. Give back the key to my heart. And let my love flow like a river straight into your heart, dear. I miss in the morning.
Do you ever wish you could make your favorite coffee house drinks like cappuccino and latte easily at home? Introducing Tassimo. Now, this is a great machine. The revolutionary way to prepare and enjoy
In Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco with 2020 Sports on WFAN, flagship station for New York Giants football.
Chris Russo. Sports Radio 66,
Good morning, everybody. How are you today on a Saturday morning in New York? Good to have you aboard as we talk about the world of sports on the 17th day of September, the year 2005. John Smelt, Ray Martell is with us. Good to have him with us as we chat. 718-937-6666. We got lots going on today, a lot of baseball in the course of these next 2.5. Mets Braves a little bit later on. Okay, let's go right to it. And let's get to this Yankee game last night where, in fact, if you're a Yankee fan, that is as bad a win as you possibly can have. I know you can make the argument, hey, listen, I don't care. Middle of September, I'm in a, red-hot pennant race. I don't care how I win the games. All right, go get no hitting and win the games, good for me. I don't care how I win the games, and I don't buy it. That is a terrible job of the Yankees last night. They got an 11-3 lead, and they're going up against a team that, listen, I know they try, but a team that's no better than 500. Hour number 3, good show today, taking until 12:35, 12:40 or so, as we talk to you about the world of sports. Baseball this afternoon, you got the White Sox that start at 1:10. That's an important game. That's a 1:10 start, right? I'm sure it is. In Comiskey, keep an eye on that. The Mets in Atlanta, all right, fair enough. Want to keep an eye on that. Mets with a nice win last night. That's fair. I don't have a problem with that. 4 o'clock Yankees in Toronto. You watch that game, or you keep an eye on that. That's important.
With your family on Family Day, September 26th. And remember, forks on the left, knives and spoons on the right, family all around. A message from the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse at Columbia University.
Listen to Mike and the Mad Dog at work and on the way home from 1 to 6:30 on Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Sports Radio 66. Good to have you aboard as we talk about the world of sports. Busy day today. Eddie Robinson's across. Good to have him with us. As we chat, let's talk to Chris in Kingston, New York. Chris, what's going on today?
What's going on, dog?
Hello, Chrissy.
I have a feeling Red Sox are not going to make the playoffs. Let me tell you why.
All right.
I think Derek Lowe was a huge loss. He's been one of the best pitchers.
At Bank of America, we've made it easier for you to apply for a home equity line of credit. So, when you visit our banking center, bring your wish list. Leave your paperwork at home, and we'll take care of the rest.
First of all, the media didn't tell the real story yesterday. The commander, who we know is a babe, lost her keys on the way to the launch. Just kidding. Actually, the launch was scheduled for the wrong time of the month by NASA.
So that's even beneath us, Jay. This is wrong.
She dented the shuttle driving it from the hangar to the launch pad. No. I mean, she was late. She had only 2.5 years notice.
Imus in the morning.
The most important technical enterprise in years. When I step on the shuttle, even if it's only the shuttle from Boston to New York, I don't want to see a 28-year-old girl. I mean, generally, one does, but not in the pilot seat.
But what difference does it make? They don't have anything to do with it.
All right, seems to me we could save a lot of time and money and put chimps in the pod. Are you in the room with Sid by any chance?
Sid handing you material there?
Yeah, that's it. Spectacular.
In the morning on the fan, Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Mets baseball on the Fan is brought to you by Nissan and your local Nissan dealer.
The Fan, WFAN, New York.
Meet the Mets, head for the park and greet the Mets. Hot dogs, green grass, all I say, guaranteed to have a heck of a day.
Welcome to Mets Extra. This afternoon, the New York Mets play the Atlanta Braves here at Shea Stadium in New York. Mets Extra is brought to you by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. Blue Diamond Almonds.
You're listening to Mets Extra with Howie Rose on the WFAN Mets Radio Network.
Lincoln Mercury's in...
Bunch of them. Now, John Schweibacher's a rather intimidating presence, and he was able to convince Mets coach Tom Nieto to sit down for a chat as John continues to harken back to that Mets-Cardinals rivalry from the mid-1980s. Great stuff yesterday with Howard Johnson. You might remember that Tom Nieto was a catcher with the Cardinals. And don't be surprised if Schweibacher corrals Terry Pendleton tomorrow. Pendleton, of course, the hitting coach for the Atlanta Braves, who are in town right now. However, Mr. Schweibacher and Mr. Nieto in the leadoff spot when Mets Extra continues in a very few moments.
You're listening to Mets Extra with Howie Rose on the WFAN Mets Radio Network.
In sports, it takes ingenuity, teamwork, and dedication in no time. For all the advice you'll ever need, the first place to go is Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance.
Copyright 2005, Infinity Broadcasting. All rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment.
It's the Rolling Stones. Coming to Giant Stadium this Thursday night. Listen to Mike and the Mad Dog every hour this Wednesday, beginning at 1 p.m. for your chance to win One winner will even get to see the show up close on the stage. It's all from your flagship station for Imus in the morning and Mike and the Mad Dog in the afternoon. And great Rolling Stones tickets. The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting station.
Good morning at 10 o'clock. This is Rich Ackerman. This report is brought to you by the Staff. On the Fan, and a very good Monday morning to you. It's the midday show with Joe Beningo. 718-937-6666 is the phone number carrying you right through to 1 o'clock when, of course, the Mike and the Mad Dog program will come your way. Dove Kramer, Matty Deutsch on the other side of the glass, and we heard the calls are right here on the Fan yesterday afternoon. Bob Poppin, Dick Lynch doing the honors. We also heard from Mitch Holtis and Len Dorsman on KCFX in Kansas City. A great day for the Giants, a brutal day for the Jets. Yankees also had a big win yesterday. We'll get to all of it in just a second, but on a side note, before we get started today, I just want to announce to all our listeners that my good friend Sid Rosenberg has resigned from WFAN effective immediately for personal reasons, and we all wish Sid the best in the future, and God knows we'll miss him. So that's that. Okay. Let's get to the sports. Let's get to the football. You know, what can I tell you? As I said, we'll talk about the Giants in a little bit. We'll talk about the...
.20 Sports on WFAN. It's your flagship station from Mike and the Mad Dog, weekdays from 1 until 6:30.
Good evening. Tony Page of the Fan, 5 after 10. We are going to 2 o'clock. I want to get to this right away because this is important. Let's get this Saturday night sports talk party started right about now.
Tony Page. Sports Radio 66.
All righty then. Tony Page of the Fan, 10:06 in the AM. Which AM? See, I'm still stuck on that AM thing. It's PM. Going to 2 AM. As you know, we're going to talk football. We got Dave Hutchinson coming up. We got Chris Carlin. We got Joe Santalacrito talking about the Eagles. But important. You just heard Joey Waller's update. Don Clendenin died. If you are any kind of a Met fan and you remember 69 with...
It will help the government, federal government, change its priorities.
Katrina is going to force us to go back and think about three things. What are our obligations to the poor there and in America? What is the role of government?
Well, I got two of them.
Go get a girlfriend. You did your time. Get out. Shut up.
He argued that America shouldn't have to pay for everything, Iraq, Katrina, and so on, by borrowing from other countries.
China and Japan.
Right. And Senator Joe Biden is also expressing concerns over the president's plans to fund the Katrina rebuilding effort and the war. Mr. Bush has ruled out raising taxes and suggested cutting government spending for the rebuilding effort. Senator Biden says he finds that approach difficult to believe and that all options should remain on the table. And there is... Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Good news concerning the North Korean situation with their nuclear ambitions. It appears they're willing to give it up.
Sure.
The news agencies from China and South Korea both reporting that Pyongyang is willing to give up all its nuclear programs in exchange for oil and power assistance and security guarantees.
How was Ellen last night at the Emmys?
She was, I thought she was fine.
She was awful.
I thought she was, her opening, her little monologue?
Not a yuck in it.
Really?
Nothing.
I found some chuckles.
Well, I kind of like her.
I do too.
I do like her.
I like her a lot.
She, even though she's a lesbian, she sucked last night. She was terrible.
Well, I disagree.
Well, what?
Unfunny skank.
She's not.
And it's not only me. It's actually, but all the reviews say that it was flat.
I thought she was...
McCord is definitely ill.
Well, what can I tell you? I found some
do?
chuckles. I thought she was relatively quick.
Do we have the opening?
We certainly can get it.
Sure.
Well, I just might be starting interested in seeing that.
Pads for like 5 minutes talking about Katrina. Get some yuck. The whole thing stunk.
Really?
We needed Heine and humor, neither of which we had. These women dressed like they're going to the prom or some ball or something.
Well, here's what's
You're
disturbing.
a bunch of sluts. Come on, let's show some legs.
No, but here's what's disturbing is that you actually watched it.
That is disturbing. But
Yes.
watch.
I mean, you're about a half a sissy boy yourself.
I didn't watch for long though.
Well, you watched it though. You knew too much about it, right,
I knew she was
Lou?
going to do an opening, a monologue,
Which is all that I buy.
Did you watch it, Lou?
No, I missed it entirely.
Okay, see, so at least Lou's a man. 17 after the hour here on the I'm Mr. Wayne broadcast. Here's Van Zandt, Johnny and Ronnie. Johnny now can't sing anymore, or at least for the next 3 months.
I swear I gave up drinking. Sometimes I have no choice. After singing hard 6 nights straight, a little sip sure helps my voice. Don't get me wrong, I love these songs and I know I've got it made. Sometimes my mind starts drifting when I'm up here on the stage. To that last half mile of dirt road and that oak tree on the hill. To those dogs out barking in the yard and that tractor in the field. And them kids up on the front porch screaming, Mama, Dad is home. When I'm out here, I'm just thinking about the things I miss the most. I miss in the morning.
This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry.
Kelly's going next.
My partner jumping out of turn there. I've seen that on Sundays sometimes, but it's all right. He made a good solid putt. Now here's Kelly Tripucka. Come on, Kelly. Come on down.
It's there. No, come on. Good putt. Great putt.
Okay. Now. Guys, this is not the U.S. Open.
So, any chance we can get you guys to play 5 or 6 more holes? It's so exciting.
You know what? I saw you hit the ball, too. You know that?
We're talking about 18-hole coverage next year, Mike.
There's some bitterness there in that answer.
The amazing thing is that I have to be here. You idiots come out here.
You know, Jimmy makes a very good point.
What is it? Oh, man, as we get walloped from behind.
Rear-ended on the Imus car.
Yes. And he likes to do that, I've heard. Yeah, I've been fighting a back issue, and that certainly helped. We come here to the 18th, and I'm just kind of playing it out now. It's going to be a great win here for the Imus team again. We've got bumper carts on the air live on WFAN. Some of them are still grinding, however, Mike Breen, including Phil Simms, who's about to play his 5th shot right in front of the green.
Jim, you know how putts can go. You can easily have a 3 or 4 putt green. Could make the difference between a off loss.
What shot is this for you, Mike? This is Francesa's 6th shot. So, who knows? Maybe he'll knock it in the hole. He hits a nice pitch.
They've now
it's
taken...
left. It looked like the heavy grass just turned the club face over a little bit. That often happens, particularly in this bluegrass.
They've taken 11 shots. The other team has taken 7. This will be their 8th shot.
And that's Simms. A little wedge, just inches off the fairway.
Such soft hands for a big man.
Yes. That's what his center always said. That's what Bart Oates always said. Such soft hands for a big man. Oh, my. And a lovely shot by Russo, who's kind of worked his way back onto the 18th hole after playing the 16th most of the way. He had been starring here throughout this Imus Teed-Off Challenge. Till the very end, I think the fatigue set in. I think the whole thing, the pressure. You know, he really was the...
I played well, Jim, except for this stretch. You played with me one day this summer, and you knew how well I was playing. And I played well today.
You
but
did.
I made a mess of this 18.
I have a feeling this is pretty much where you are now with your game. It was not a one-time thing when it's Shore Haven. You shot somewhere in the mid-80s and hit, I believe, all but 2 fairways. Francesa now quickly bringing things to a close, and he's in the hole. What is that, Mike? That's an 8 for Mike Francesa. And don't hear any big round of applause here by the throng that has gathered. Yeah.
The bad news is this wonderful event is coming to a close. The good news is I just saved a ton of money changing my car insurance.
And it's Russo with a putt. Oh, that's just amazing. A horseshoe. It came all the way back to him. What a shame. What is that, Chris? That's an 8, a pair of 8s. Always split 8s. That's what they tell you.
This one really
and Sims is out with some Kentucky math. I think that's a 7 for Sims. That's maybe his first double bogey of the year. Of course, it's only his 3rd hole of the year.
He claimed 6, but it is a 7 according to Mark Chernoff.
Okay, well, we'll go back and talk to our USGA rules official.
We'll discuss it on the postgame show.
Kathleen now. This is for a birdie. Oh, look at his feet. That's the way to finish it. She drains it from 22 feet. That is the moment we've been waiting for. On the 18th green, no less.
Thank you. It's a thrill. I'm very excited.
Now, how would that rank with all-time moments in golf for you?
That's right up there. I think that's it.
That's it. You just won the Imus Teed Off Challenge. You and your partner, Phil Sims, are the champions, and we'll come back with the trophy presentation. And off to the right of the 18th green, Don Imus over there doing somersaults, jumping up and down, celebrating his team's victory. Man, is he excited. And we'll be back in 2 minutes at the North Fork Bank Stephen A. Cox Classic and the Imus Teed Off Challenge on the Fan Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Now that Optimum Autos lets you search for thousands of new and used cars.
I was talking about the North Fork Bank Cox Golf Classic yesterday and the Imus Teed Off Challenge. This was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And in which my team, Phil Sims and Kathleen Meal, she's a lawyer in my wife's environmental office, played Mike Francesa and Chris Russo, and Russo and Francesa did very well.
Did they?
Yeah, I mean,
All
I think my team won, but not by a lot. But it was a lot of fun. You know who was great?
Who?
It's Jim Nance.
Yeah.
And Breen.
Breeny was there? Okay.
Did you hear any of the play-by-play, Lou?
No.
No, they were good.
Well, Nance is great.
Yeah, he went on. And Phil Sim, what nice guys, man.
Yeah. Quality people.
And then John Candace, have you seen him lately?
No. No, I have not.
I don't know how old he is, but man, that's a... He's getting it done. I don't know his name.
My God.
Pictures of him or anything, but... There's a what? If you're watching MSNBC, there's a whole lineup of people.
Is that Kirstie Alley out there taking a few shots?
No, that's Francesa. Oh, you mean the other? No, that's some lady from the LPGA. I forget her name now. What?
No, I think that was Francesa.
Oh, my God. Well, what do you mean?
What are we saying here?
They raised $640,000.
Good grief.
All right. You know, another nice guy is that guy from Jimmy Roberts, I think his name is, from NBC, who can play golf himself a little bit. So it was a lot of fun. They raised a lot of money, and they did they were fun. So.
Sure. That's good.
Basically.
Francesa had sweat underneath his breasts.
Well, it was hot.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Wear a T-shirt underneath.
Yeah.
Wear something absorbent.
He was out there raising money for the little children.
You know, God bless him.
Yeah. So, where were you, by the way? They had your name.
No, Chernoff told me not to go.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. I was ready. I had my car started.
So,
he said to get out, just like Ray Nagin to the people returning to New Orleans.
We've had a change of plans.
That woman from Deirdre's office, Kathleen, man, she can play golf.
Yeah.
Holy God, she's better than a lady from the LPGA.
She's tournament ready.
And she drained a putt on the 18th. It was like one of those Tiger Wood deals where the golf ball goes, where it goes one way and then it curves up around and
it goes north to come back south.
Well, yeah, no, she was great. So I think they won by like a stroke or something. It was very close. It was fun. What's going on in the world?
Well, as watching Tropical Storm Rita as it heads toward the Keys, and due to become, there's almost certain, a Category 1 hurricane at least, as it crosses the Keys and then moves on out into the Gulf where it could strengthen further. And everybody all along the Gulf Coast is watching it. And as we were discussing, the mayor of New Orleans, Ray Nagin, saying that he wants to err on the side of conservatism, has told everybody that he had invited back in. He has ordered those people to get out because he just doesn't want to think about.
Well, they were all coming back in, right?
Well, a lot of them were. They just didn't want to think about the possibility of being hit again when they say even a 3-foot storm surge would cause major problems and could even breach the levees again. So Nagin had ordered residents who slipped back into the still closed parts of the city to leave immediately.
He needs to leave.
He has also urged everyone already settled back into the city's Algiers section
to get out,
to be ready to evacuate as early as tomorrow.
You people get out, too.
And so that's the deal. He says this is not a diversion. Rita poses a real threat. Hurricane Katrina and the federal government's handling of the storm response apparently did not help bolster America's views of the president. Latest USA Today Gallup poll now showing the president's overall approval rating holding steady at 40%. Disapproval rating, though, reaching a new high of 58%. When questioned about the Iraq War and Hurricane Katrina recovery efforts, 56% of those polled said President Bush accused him of reaching out to help the victims mostly for political reasons, not because he genuinely cares about them. The public's assessment of Mr. Bush's personal qualities also hit a new low, clear majority saying he lacks leadership skills. In addition, 54% of respondents said they favored cutting spending for the Iraq War in order to cover the growing cost of hurricane relief along the Gulf Coast. In Iraq, meantime, another suicide car bomber has hit a U.S. convoy in Mosul. The blast killed 4 Americans, wounded 2 others. The victims are a diplomatic security agent and 3 private security guards attached to the U.S. consulate in Mosul. The official says the suicide bomber rammed their sport utility vehicle. And Al-Qaeda's number 2 man has released a videotaped message claiming responsibility for the July suicide bombings in London. In a message aired on Al Jazeera, Ayman al-Zawahiri says the attacks were carried out to strike at, quote, British arrogance. He added that the bombings were retribution for the crime of setting up Israel and continuing crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan. An Al Jazeera spokesman said the video was produced by the terrorist group to mark the 4th anniversary of the September 11th attacks.
It's 11 minutes after the hour here at the I Miss Des Moines program. Pat Buchanan is coming up this morning, then Senator Chris Dodd, and then Jim Nance. We'll talk to him. And then Larry and Sean King will be here, and Brian Wilson. Let me read to you just briefly from Sean King's bio.
All right.
Sean King has been part of the entertainment world all of her life, having been born into the business. The daughter of a major record company executive and a top Hollywood studio singer, as well as being the niece of one of the members of the original Letterman hit vocal group. It was not unusual for Sean to run through the house as a little girl and see Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys go on a bike ride with Ann Murray or play catch in the backyard with any number of major recording artists. So this will be sort of like a reunion this morning.
Home week.
For Sean King and Brian Wilson. From the moron who wants to do this story in Vanity Fair. You are not going to believe this. Oh, this is trouble.
Well, I've been looking real hard and I'm trying to find a job, but it just keeps getting tougher every day. But I got to do my part, 'cause I know in my heart I got to please my sweet baby, yeah. Well, I ain't superstitious and I don't get suspicious, but my woman is a friend of mine. And I know that it's true that all the things that I do will come back to me in my sweet time. So keep on rocking me, baby. 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 I'm in the morning.
Listen to this. That's the warning you get with car.
Marriott Hotels and Resorts. Marriott Hotels and Resorts introduces the coolest spot in Times Square. Experience the M Spot, a 4-day music fest, September 21st to 24th, with artists like Sierra, Collective Soul, and more. In Brooklyn, northbound on the Prospect at 6th Avenue. They've cleared out an earlier accident. Ditto that in Bergen County, New Jersey, northbound on the Palisades at exit 1 in Englewood Cliffs.
You know, I left Fiddler's Elbow Golf whatever the hell it is, wherever it is in New Jersey, whatever town it's in out there.
Mm-hmm.
Around 10 minutes to 5 yesterday.
Did you get caught in traffic?
I got home in Manhattan, on the west side of Manhattan, at almost 7:30.
Oh, wow.
Was Brant listening to the traffic report?
Well, yes, but I mean, we probably should have gone to Holland Tunnel. We went to Lincoln.
Well, there you go.
Should have had a pop, relax, and wait for the rush hour to end, and then hit the road.
Pop a little valley.
Well, then you said, well, we had the 7-year-old at home. We wondered where his mother and father were, so we had to get home.
Probably having a little party with his friends over.
5 minutes till the hour here in the I'm This Morning program on the radio around the country on MSNBC. Here's Chris Carlin with sports, sponsored by Peerless Boilers, America's best boiler. What's going on, big guy?
All right, quickly, Yankees come back, win last night 3-2. Bubba Crosby with a walk-off game-winning home run. Red Sox lost, so the Yankees now only a half game behind. Cleveland won again. 6 in a row. They beat the White Sox 7-5. They're now 2.5 behind them, and Yankees 1 behind them as well. Dallas, the Cowboys lost to the Redskins 14-13.
How does that happen?
And not good. 2 touchdowns late. 2 long touchdown passes to Santana Moss. Cowboys blew it in the fourth quarter. And then also the Giants pounded the Saints last night, 27-10 at Giant Stadium. That's sports, and the Fat Boy's over.
If the Saints don't have a home, they come to Giant Stadium and they say, good, you don't have a home, you don't look so bad, here's another one, 27-10, now get out.
In the morning. We call it Sleepy's 11-hour sale. Just 11 quick hours. Not much time to get Sleepy's mattress buy of a lifetime. So make your plans. Shop Sleepy's tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and get incredible 11-hour savings on famous brand mattresses like Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper, Simmons Beauty Rest, Stearns & Foster, and more. 16 famous brands in all. Remember, Sleepy's beats any other store's advertised price on same or comparable mattresses by 20%, or you get the mattress free. We'll even meet prices on Stearns & Foster, Masterpiece, and Dormo Diagnostics. Finance your purchase and pay no interest for 12 months. Get delivery everywhere, every day. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details. The bottom line, Sleepy's won't rest until you're...
Wow. The I'm France at tomorrow's Children's Fund and the CJ Foundation for SIDS. And Delaware Bank did a great job. They did a great job. So, better than AT&T used to do. And it's just their first year doing it.
Terrific.
And Mike and Chris were great. They played very well. They can play golf. My team won, but not by much.
I don't get golf.
What is it about golf you don't understand?
Well, you hit the ball, and then you chase it, and when you find it, you hit it again.
Right.
Well, why would you hit it again if you spent all that time trying to find it? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
And then Larry and Sean King will be on. And Brian Wilson, of course, is here this morning with us. So we have the New York Stock Exchange business report coming up. What's the matter, Bernie?
I'm just looking at Mike Francesa. It looked like his breasts are leaking there.
Well, it was hot. I mean, it was 80 degrees.
He's the only one sweating. I mean, but it's just where the sweat is coming out underneath his,
Well, no, they were all sweating.
His ample memories.
It wasn't that hot, but it was. They played golf. They played 3 holes.
In this hot sun, bright, brilliant sunshine and everything.
Yeah.
And
get him like a sponge bra. Wow.
Well, that is probably not good.
Sponge bra, Bernie?
Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm sure a lot of fat broads use that.
Well, whatever.
Maybe he's lactating.
I just... Here's Charles with the news. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, I-Man. One thing we did not mention about Katrina is, and previously here, is the death toll. The number of dead in New Orleans jumped by 90 yesterday to 736. And officials...
How did it jump by 90?
Or just more people, as they get into more areas, more...
They found 90 more bodies.
Well, no, I understand, but I just know you dumb bastard. You know what I meant?
If it all was at one location or something.
Yes, it was like a bunch of people... Like I would hope they would be at your house.
Oh, that's nice.
8 minutes after the hour here in the I'm This Morning program. Well, speaking about that, remember that guy, Aaron Broussard, who was a Jefferson Parish County president, who was on Meet the Press?
Yes.
Had that riveting story about the guy's mom?
Yes, who broke down and...
Well, rack that up and roll it, and then we'll talk about it.
Most importantly, I want to thank my public employees that have worked 24/7, that burn out, the doctors, the nurses.
And I want to give you one last story, and I'll shut up and let you tell me whatever you want to tell me. The guy who runs this building I'm in, emergency management, he's responsible for everything. His mother was trapped in St. Bernard nursing home, and every day she called him and said, "Are you coming, son? Is somebody coming?" And he said, "Yeah, Mama, somebody's coming to get you. Somebody's coming to get you on Tuesday. Somebody's coming to get you on Wednesday. Somebody's coming to get you on Thursday. Somebody's coming to get you on Friday." And she drowned it Friday night. She drowned it Friday night.
Mr. President,
Nobody's coming to get it. Nobody's coming to get it. The secretary has promised. Everybody's promised. They've had press conferences. I'm sick of the press conferences. For God's sakes, shut up and send us somebody.
just take a pause, Mr. President. While you gather yourself, no. These are very emotional times, I understand.
Aaron Broussard with Tim Russert a couple Sundays ago. Now,
Since the broadcast of that interview, which elevated Mr. Broussard to national prominence, a number of bloggers quickly began questioning the validity of Broussard's story because there is a timeline problem. New details and interviews of this man to whom he was referring, the Jefferson Parish Emergency Services Director, is the man whose mom died there. They showed that this tragedy unfolded from Saturday through Monday, August 29th, not Monday through Friday, September 2nd, as recounted by Mr. Broussard there. And it turns out that the mom was not calling out. It was this fellow who said, "I was calling, not my mother calling me, I was calling." He went on to tell MSNBC, he said, "I can't tell you what he, Broussard, said that day, why he was confused. I'm assuming he was under a tremendous amount of pressure." And this is St. Rita's nursing home, by the way, where the 34 elderly occupants died.
The guy, he had the nursing home wrong, too.
He did. He's St. Bernard, he said.
Yeah.
The husband and wife of St. Rita's nursing home are the two people who have been charged with homicide in the case for having abandoned, as they are accused of abandoning.
Oh, well, I think the guy in charge, his point was well taken.
Absolutely. He was very emotional, and that's...
And Mom is what, Bernie?
He should have gotten an Emmy Sunday night for that performance. I mean, the implication was that the federal government was late after Monday night. There was nothing anybody could do past Monday night.
Yeah, this was early.
She was already dead.
Yeah.
That was the day, or it was right around when the levees broke.
That's a good point.
It was like, the federal government didn't come in and help. It was feeding into that myth.
Well, they didn't, but...
The guy's a grandstanding weasel. Russert should have called him on it.
Did I miss something? No. How would Russert know that? What do you mean Russert should have called him?
I don't know. I asked some tough questions.
Well, no, right. What the hell's wrong with you? Russert would have no way of knowing.
Not blubbering, and let's get to some facts here. I mean, nobody was calling Mom on Tuesday. Mom was already gone by Tuesday. The guy was lying, bust out lying.
Is she still dead?
Yes, she's still dead, Brian.
So then what's the controversy?
The IMS in the Morning Business Report is sponsored by the New York Stock Exchange. Today at the exchange, the opening bell will be run by C-SPAN Corporation Chairman Kyle Washington and CEO Jerry Wang to celebrate the company's initial public offering. C-SPAN Corporation, headquartered in Hong Kong, trades under the ticker symbol SSW. The closing bell will be rung by R. Scott Sellers, Chairman and CEO of Archstone Smith Trust, in celebration of the National Association of Real Estate Investment Trusts and the 45th anniversary of the creation of the REIT industry, whatever that is. Archstone Smith trades under the ticker symbol ASN. What?
Real Estate Investment Trusts.
Yesterday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 84 points to 10,558. NASDAQ down 15 points to 2145. S&P 500 down 7 points. The New York Stock Exchange Composite was down 34 points to 7612. And the CNBC Chairman Pamela Thomas Graham has a new position now. She'll be a senior executive at the fashion empire of Liz Claiborne.
All right.
Thomas Graham had been stripped of her day-to-day duties at CNBC because the ratings What?
She was stripped.
Well, that's kind of an interesting way, but then Tracy wrote that. So. 13 after the hour here on the Anderson Wine program. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys is here. Jim Nance from CBS Sports is coming up. Senator Chris Dobbs in Connecticut. And then Sean King and Larry King. All that just ahead.
got too close to her expectations. We're dreaming like paper and fire. Paper and fire, singing of the ashtray. Paper and fire, smoking up the alleyway. Put through the days away on man's abandoned place. Let's roll up like paper and fire. I'm in the morning.
My grandfather came to this country, and he spent his entire work life building out his dream. We were at the New York.
All day, every day, keep your radio locked in to the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting station.
Meet the mess, meet the mess. Head for the park and greet the mess. Hot dogs, green grass, all out of shade. Guaranteed to have a heck of a day.
And welcome to Mets Extra. Mets Extra being brought to you by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
You have to get one to Deirdre.
There you go.
And I have to have one, so
I'm out.
You're not going to get
I'm
one.
out.
Chris Carlin's in the studio and probably has some sports. Where were you before, Tubbo?
You were talking to the congressman.
No,
I
know what I was doing.
I was just...
Your responsibility is to be there when I call on you.
I apologize.
Well, no, your apology is not accepted.
Why?
Why not?
I'm a good employee. I'm usually in here. I was doing some writing.
A very responsible person, always there for you.
He wasn't there when I wanted him.
But he wasn't there at that moment.
Right, so what should I do?
I dropped the ball. Not much I can do there. I'm
accept
very
his
sorry.
apology and move on.
Okay, what's going on?
Red Sox clobbered the Devil Rays last night 15-2. David Ortiz with a pair of home runs. Yankees win.
God, what the hell has happened to Ortiz? Well, nothing. I mean, Ortiz has always been pretty good, but man.
He's a tremendous player.
My God.
He's a money player. Always kills the Yankees, too.
Yeah.
Yankees won last night. They beat Baltimore 12-9. 6 RBIs for Gary Sheffield. Yankees still a half game behind the Red Sox. Also a half behind the Indians because Joe Creedy of the White Sox hit a walk-off home run, his second of the night last night. They beat Cleveland 7-6-10. They lead by 3.5 over Cleveland to the White Sox. Manager Ozzie Guillen upset with the notion that the White Sox have been called chokers in recent days because they once had a 15-game lead.
How could you go be a choker and a loser when you win 92 games with this team? You know, come on. You know, give me. You know, sometimes think about it. Just go down here and think about it. But you know, I enjoy it. I love it. I like to be a loser, but when you win, you know, the beer tastes better.
I like to be a loser.
Right.
Something
you can identify with, Chris.
But when you win, the beer tastes better.
That'll be fine.
Houston leads the wild card by 2 games. They beat Pittsburgh 7-4, while the Phillies lost to Atlanta. WNBA last night, the Sacramento Monarchs are the champions of the league. They beat the Connecticut Sun 62-59 to win the championship in 4 games. Sacramento center Yolanda Griffith understandably excited.
My teammates told me they had my back today, and I believe them. No matter good or bad, we're going to always stick together, and this is just unbelievable. Oh, my God!
Good for her.
Free little kid, too.
Oh, no, that's good. We're going to talk with Levon Helm and Larry Campbell coming up. Then Levon and all of them are going to do something again in the 7 o'clock hour, some Eastern times here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the entire 8 o'clock hour is going to be devoted to the Levon Helm Band.
Beautiful.
And it's a reason to have this job.
Boy, no
you know,
kidding.
that Delbert McClinton and Levon Helm is a reason to come to work.
Yeah.
Coming up on 4 till the hour.
I'm in the morning.
Now's the ideal time to save money on a great certified pre-owned Lexus at Lexus of Westport and Lexus of Westport certified pre-owned in Fairfield. Record trade-ins from last month's